Hello everybody, welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is episode 24 of our continuing series replay of Strategic Command World War II. And hopefully I'll be able to get this one out today along with episode 23. So that way you'll have two videos today. So without any further ado, I am going to go ahead and advance the turn. As you know, the Allies are making serious advances, serious strides towards pushing the Japanese back to the home islands. Soviet morale is boosted by the capture of Port Arthur. Japanese morale suffers due to the loss of Davao on Mindanao, while U.S. morale is boosted by it. Japanese morale is reduced by the loss of Hanoi. The Allies have liberated Indochina, specifically the Nationalist Chinese have done so, and Filipino partisans launch an uprising on Panay. Filipinos led by U.S. Colonel Wendell Fertig launch an uprising in Mindanao. And another partisan uprising in Luzon. French colonial forces attack the Japanese in Indochina. And the Japanese garrison is mobilized at Seoul. The Quit India movement is causing problems again. MacArthur announces, "By the grace of Almighty God, our forces stand again on Philippine soil." Except in this playthrough, he's not actually in the Philippines yet. British Empire develops spying and intelligence level 1, as well as production technology level 3 and industrial technology level 3. They're getting a lot of breakthroughs there. Australia gets naval construction level 3. There is our ledger for the up-and-coming turn. And the computer calculating supplies. Let's see how the Japanese respond to these setbacks. All right, so we have some repositioning in South Korea. The fighting in northern China continues. Attempt to relieve Rangoon. Some pushback on the Manchurian border there. All right, so we got a headquarters there near the Chinese-Manchurian border. So maybe we'll start seeing some more Japanese forces putting a defensive line up there between Tianjin and Beiping. All right, 9th Garrison suffers attrition losses out there on the rail lines. Osaka Corps suffers attrition losses. All right, anything else? I don't know. It looks like that is it for Japan's turn this time around. Yep. All right, so there is our rating report. And there is our activity summary. So look at the losses there. All right, U.S. intelligence spots an army in Bandung. And somebody spotted a garrison out on one of the islands, a garrison there in Nanjing. And reinforcements also happen to be garrisons. Okay, so the Australian garrisons. You know what? I'm going to be paranoid. I'm going to put one here in Canberra. And there is the New Guinea garrison. All right, British paratroopers. Start them here in Camilla. And another garrison for the United States. All right, Russians. More garrisons. And the paratroopers. All right, that is going to do it for reinforcements. So now I just put him out, so there's nothing I can do with him. But my U.S. paratroopers, let's hurry up and get them into the combat zone. See what wonderful things they can do for us. You know what? I'm going to keep the light cruiser with them as an escort. And holy smokes, we don't have anybody import for repairs. Who allowed that to happen? Keep an eye on those islands, see if anything's going on. And I'm going to leave the Alabama here. Just patrol a little bit. All right, so we're going to hold off on moving the amphib. Well, no, actually I am going to move him because he can't get anywhere. Leave the cruiser around him as an escort. Now, can I get these guys on the water? Yes, I can. Same thing with them. Leave the battleship down there to cover. All right, you need to retreat even further. There we go. Now I've got somebody in port that needs repairs. All right, so let's go ahead and start down here in Indonesia. Start getting everybody moving. So I'll let these guys leapfrog one another. Since I don't know what's on Bali. Finally get him his upgrade. Now, can he move? Nope, he's kind of stuck there. All these guys are kind of stuck there for the moment. Now, oh, he fully resupplied. Awesome. Let's get him out there to cause trouble. Now, can I finally get MacArthur back out? Yes, I can. Let's get him some cover. Before I do anything with the carriers, okay, so I still can't see if there's anything in Leyte, so let's go ahead and advance. I'm going to move up the entire fleet. anything? No, doesn't look like it. How much did he resupply? Oh, full supply. Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and block that supply line. And I am going to take a chance. Awesome. Man, this is almost a blowout. Well, he doesn't need to be there anymore. So let's go out to help up here. Oh, what's his supply? He's still at 10, okay. All right, continue advancing the fleet. Just doing a little patrolling. That's what we say we do a little patrolling. All right, so that gives us Mindanao. It gives us Leyte. We've got forces on Luzon. Freaking awesome. All right, so with that being the case, actually, I want to get these guys off the transports, but at the same time, oh, there we go. There's an idea. All right, maybe not the greatest idea. Awesome. Now we got some artillery to help with the attack on Manila, and the tanks are coming. Third Marine Defensive Anti-Air. Let's go ahead and have you guard the island once you're able. All right. So that gives us Celebes. So with that in mind, all right, so who is that? That's 1st Marine Tanks. You know what? I could use them. Oh, awesome. All right, so no, there was nobody guarding Bali, so that gives us Bali. That's fantastic. I'm going to take the chance here, and I'm going to move up the Australian HQ. These guys still cannot get off of Timor just yet. All right, so let's get the Armada moved. Okay, so he's in position to help with Manila. That gets all of them there. I'll just build a defensive cauldron around them. All right, those guys need to stay there. Oh, move aircraft. Can he get there? No, he can't, but he can. Grr. Oh, he's low on supply. All right, I got to get him closer to a better supply point. Can I operate him? Yes, I can. All right, that might not classify as a better supply point. There, that'll provide some more air cover out this way. All right, anybody else? I do want to relocate him, but I'd rather relocate him to this front line. So it looks like I'm going to have to leave him sitting there just a little bit longer. All right, so let's finish moving up the carriers. And their escorts. Now I'm going to switch him over to fighter escort just to help out the Aussies there on Simbawa. Whoops, I meant to leave him as an escort. Oops. All right, it shouldn't come back to bite me, though. Hopefully. I know, famous last words. All right, so that takes care of the South Pacific. Can I move the... Oh, yeah, that's right. Good thing I looked. Get the Kiwis moving to the front line there to help out with Indonesia. And that is going to do it. Okay. All right, so moving on to the Royal Navy portion. I'm going to leave these guys sitting right where they are. Actually, no. Battleships. I'm going to try and have them help out with the attack on Belampang. Now he's fully resupplied. And he still has a lot of supply. He needs to retreat. And he has been fully supplied. Nope, do not put him next to the port. Oh, there we go. 10 supply. Can I get him? Yes, I can. All right, that'll cut off any production points that the computer might be getting for the port here. And I don't think it's going to help us with cutting off supply to this unit because they've got these other two ports here to make that happen. But it's better than nothing. All right, so moving on to Burma in Southeast Asia. The Chinese have made a lovely victory here in Thailand. All right, so I'm going to bring these tanks around to help on this side. He needs to get out of there until we get more forces up there to help him out. So we'll try and have more U.S. forces come down this way to help out with a pincer movement. See if we can't split northern Indochina off. I believe everybody else is moved up except for him. I'm going to let him sit there and get some more supplies. All right, 14th Air Force. These guys are low on supplies, so we're going to take advantage of that. And hopefully see a little bit of air combat. So the Flying Tigers got to do their thing. Now, I was kind of hoping to draw out some Japanese Air Force. And that is exactly what happened. And we were able to take out the unit that was out of supply. Now, hopefully, even though he's running low on supplies, I'm hoping that this advance here will... Oh, one-shotted him. Freaking awesome. So that way now we have a supply line going to him. All right, so I'm going to have the artillery occupy the city for the moment, so that way I can reinforce that army. And we continue to push down into, or down onto the island there. All right, let's go ahead and upgrade the French forces before I go ahead and throw them into combat. Now, is that his anti-air? Yes, it's not his mobility. Okay. But let's get him on a road. Yeah, they're way out of place. All right, so I need to get him down here. The Flying Tigers and 14th Air Force, they'll be all right without a headquarters. All right, so we didn't take Rangoon like I had hoped, but we're getting in position for it. And we have pressure on Bangkok. Now, let's see if we can get this. They didn't swap them like I had hoped. Well, I had hoped they wouldn't do it, and they didn't, so... Oh, wait, we found Unio. Alright, well, the bombers were still able to do some damage. Oh, he doesn't have enough to get up there. Alright, let me have a look at something real quick here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I gotta pull him back, help out his supply. You know what? I probably don't need him up there anymore. See if I can sucker him into attacking instead of reinforcing. Keep the pressure on Fuzhou there. Uh-oh. They did not reinforce these guys at Wuhan, and we get the victory. Alright, so Wuhan has fallen or been liberated. Depends on how you look at it. And that massive growling noise you hear is my stomach. All right, so we're hurting for supply in this area, so I got to maneuver these guys around a little bit instead of attacking. All right, I'm just going to hold him there. Can we do anything up here? Not really. All right, so in that case, go ahead and shift this defensive line a little. Thank you. Appreciate that. Stay on the other side of the river there. Now you guys, running out of supply, as always. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit him without support. All right, how can we do here? Sorry, I haven't been narrating much this turn. I'm really focused on the fact that we're making these breakthroughs. The Russians have just taken Seoul. That is a huge victory. So they have cut off Chongqing. And Chongqing has fallen to Russian forces. Getting him back up on the road. All right, I had them prepared to drop. And unfortunately, do I want to be stupid? You know what, just to go ahead and mess around, this may be a bad idea. At least they have some supplies, they can hang out there. I'll get them the other paratroopers to help out. We'll see what we can do with that. I really wasn't expecting to be able to land there, but that's all right. All right, so I have to get these guys up to the port here and get them transferred over to Sakhalin as fast as I can. Now that the ice is gone. All right, that is, if that doesn't cause a conniption among the computer Japanese player, I don't know what will. I got to start getting some more forces over this way. I wasn't expecting this heavy a group of defense up here. I was thinking 2 corps maybe, but they've got a whole army up here. I mean, the tanks can take them, but between the tanks and the mechanized, but I'd rather get a little bit more over here just to help out. All right. Anything else? Anything else for land combat, movement? We took care of the submarines. We've got the Japanese all but pushed back into the sea in southern China. They're on the back foot. They're getting pushed back in Southeast Asia. We're pushing in on them from both sides in Indonesia. Americans are crawling all over the Philippines. Probably take them back. All right, so American forces, just to give you an idea of what I'm thinking here, So we'll go ahead and we'll push up and finish taking the Philippines with American forces, and then go for Formosa and Okinawa. The Chinese, I'm not really going to push for them to do amphibious operations, but if I get the opportunity, I'll have their air power in a position to support American forces. The Russians, I'm going to have them finish securing the Korean Peninsula, and then I think if this paratrooper diversion in Honshu works out, I think I'm going to split the Russians into supporting the Chinese in northern China, because the Chinese are actually doing okay. They may even be able to start taking the offensive and push back towards Beiping, um, Peking, Beijing, Beeping. It's all the same place. Um, but with this being the case, or I should say this being the case over here, I think I may go ahead and split their forces and see if I can't get an early invasion onto the home islands. And the Australians will help the British finish liberating Indonesia. All right, so that brings us to, let's go ahead and get some. Actually, I meant to purchase headquarters this turn, so let's do that. All right, so let's go ahead and get Mountbatten out there. I mean, for game purposes, there's no difference between Mountbatten and Gifford. For game purposes. Now, the United States, they've got 2 coming. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get some strategic bombers out there, get some more of them. And I do want another garrison. I don't need to upgrade him. Get another one. Can't hurt to have a spare. And I do need another Soviet HQ. So Meretskov, can I? Nope, I can't get you your mobility increase until later. And yeah, they've got a guy coming. So let's go ahead and get that army that I talked about last turn. That was not what I wanted to do. Army, do that. Okay, 7th. Now let me get a few more garrisons out there. What they can do is they can plug holes in lines, or they can cover rear areas. My concern is down there in Southeast Asia, where I keep having these large open spaces in between the Chinese forces, but it's rough terrain, so the chances of anybody actually getting through there is kind of slim. Oh, wow. They can get heavy artillery. Let's do that. So the Communist Chinese are going to have heavy artillery coming. Unfortunately, Australia does not have enough to get another headquarters yet, so we'll save that. And we will get them, hopefully we'll be able to get them an HQ next turn. All right, that is going to do it for this turn. That's also going to do it for this episode. And as always, leave a like and a comment to help grow the channel. Go ahead and share this with somebody you think is going to like this kind of content. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Remember, we're shooting for that 125 by the end of the year. And with that, thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.